All right, folks, we're back for another Boxing Genius podcast. And for today's podcast, it's going to be about what makes a good boxing analyst. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you people, there's not a lot of them nowadays, so you guys have to be careful who the fuck you listen to, because a lot of these guys nowadays don't really know shit about boxing, and they are just playing with the theoretical concepts that they've learned from a book, or they watch it on YouTube, they bought DVDs, and they play it off like their own. So it's really hard to trust boxing analysts nowadays. Now, I do have some things that you should look for when it comes to like watching boxing analysts or commentators. A lot of commentators are analysts, so they call themselves that, but a lot of them are full of shit. And I want to give you guys a basis on what to look for when you are watching an analyst and when you are trying to figure out what they are talking about, okay? And if they actually know what they're talking about, that's the most important thing. So the first one, in my opinion, is a sharp eye. And a sharp eye doesn't just come from seeing things, it also comes from remembering things, okay? So if I watch a 12-round fight and in the 8th round, I was able to recall something that happened in the first round. So if you hear someone say, oh, he did this in the first round. It's the 8th round, folks. Oh, what an uppercut. I also saw this in the first round. He's been doing this for a couple of rounds now, and I think we are picking up on something that he's planning to do. Oh my goodness, this fighter is planning to do something. He's going to set up a big shot. If they're able to say that, then they have a sharp eye. If they're able to remember things that occurred in the first round or in the second round, and it's already the 10th round, the 11th round, okay, that's a guy with a sharp eye right there. Another one is attention to detail, okay? So a good analyst must be able to notice subtle things that people don't see a lot, okay? And even boxers, they don't see it. You must be able to pick up on those things. And I'm not calling myself a boxing analyst, but I will be confident enough to say that I do pick up on a lot of things that a lot of boxers or coaches or analysts don't talk about, simply because I experience it, and simply because I always think in the ring. A lot of good fighters aren't good analysts simply because they don't think in the ring, okay? And I don't blame those guys. Those guys probably play off of my muscle memory. But to me, a combination of muscle memory and conscious thinking is the way to go. So if you combine thinking in the middle of the fight and also allowing your muscle memory to do the work, I think you can build a great formula for winning fights, okay? So a sharp eye is basically picking up on patterns, picking up on the events, picking up on the sequence and on the pace of the fight, picking up on what's been going on and how the fight progresses. If you are able to explain to me what the guy did in the first round and how that carried over to the 10th round, what he did in the first round and how he used that now in the 8th round. If you're telling me that he used a jab to the body to force his opponent to lean on a back foot and all this shit, okay, that's a good analysis right there. Number 2 is theoretical skills, okay? And this is quite ironic because people who have theoretical skills usually don't know shit about boxing. But theoretical skills help in being detailed, and it helps in actually knowing a lot of things that, most guys don't know, simply because theory is hard to study. As much as I hate theory, theory is difficult to study. And if you have the ability to discuss the theory without actually getting in the ring, without actually experiencing that shit, you see a lot of these old guys, right? They become commentators and shit, never fought a day in their life, but they know some things about boxing. Never fought a day in their life, but they know a little bit about boxing, okay? They have theoretical skills, and it's not enough, in my opinion. It's not enough to have theoretical skills. Why am I butchering this shit? It's not bad to have theoretical skills, but it's not enough, in my opinion. I think you need to practice. I think you need to step in the ring at least once in your life in order to really understand everything that's going on. But hey, people who don't really watch an analyst and then talk about, oh, why is he not being technical? All they give a fuck about is energy. Energy and passion, which is what we're going to get into now, okay? Stephen A. Smith. What does he have that other analysts don't have? Is the passion. Is his ability to scream and shout. Is his ability to argue with people in heated debates. I can't impersonate Stephen A. Smith, unfortunately, but it's his energy and passion which brought him to the top. I'm gonna argue this, bro. I'm gonna argue this, folks. Stephen A. Smith don't know shit about a lot of sports, okay? Never played basketball in a day in his life. Never fought a day in his life, unless you prove me otherwise, you know what I'm saying? Never played football a day in his life. Yet here he is, shouting and screaming in my fucking face like he played a sport before. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Stephen A. Smith, what made him successful is not necessarily his very vast knowledge of the sport, but it's mainly his energy and passion. And for the most part, that's enough, you know, that's fucking enough. That's enough to be a good analyst, energy and passion. That's what fans look for. That's what fans tune in for. When they see an analyst talking with passion, like he really loves what he's talking about. He's really into boxing. Been watching it since he was a kid. You know? Manny Pacquiao is the greatest fighter alive! Those kind of guys make the most money. Like those fucking analysts who are so passionate about what they talk about, they make the most money, even though they're not really the smartest people. All it takes is energy and passion in order to attract fans, and in order to make it sound like you're credible even if you're not. Again to the body lands! Right hand! Oh my god! An uppercut! You know, those kind of commentators, those kind of analysts, people listen to them even though they don't know shit about what they're talking about, you know? It's the energy and the passion which changes everything. Oh, what an overhand right! Oh my goodness! Is that passion which attracts a lot of fans, man, I'm telling you. Number 4 is impartiality. You must be able to acknowledge both fighters, look at them equally, and look at what the one guy's doing and what the other guy's doing, okay? Like, I remember watching the Zolani Tete versus Casimero fight, and the dude never talked about Casimero. It was like, Tete is a great boxer, he has a long reach, he's a very good outboxer. Never heard one thing about Casimero. Why is that? That's what I never understood. Like, I know Casimero is probably an underdog, but please be impartial about your horseshit, okay? They spent all their time praising Tete, and then the funny thing was he got knocked the fuck out, and they were like, oh shit, what happened? They were like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? Tete got knocked out by Casimero. We spent all this time praising Tete, and then Casimero caught him with 2 right hooks, right haymakers. And then that's just what happened right there. And also, you must be able to look at both fighters, because if you don't, you sound like a biased piece of shit, and number 2, you won't really catch up with all the things that are going on in the fight if you're only looking at one fighter, or if you are just acknowledging what one fighter is doing, you know, if you won't be able to pick up on those things. So go ahead, and if y'all want to be good at analyzing boxing, not necessarily as a profession, you know, not necessarily being a professional boxing analyst, if you just want to study films and fucking looking at what's happening in a fight like I do, if you want to do what I do, just focus on these 4 things. I'm sure you'll figure it out. And of course, my biggest advice is to step in the ring and experience the fight, because that's the most beautiful thing in the world, okay? If you get to experience it and then you watch it on YouTube, and then you remember all the things that you did in sparring, you remember all the things that happened when you fought, you remember all the things that occurred when you got your ass whooped, it's going to be much easier for you to study another fighter from the television or from YouTube, okay? And then you can make videos like I'm doing. Anyway, I'm an underrated YouTuber right now, so hopefully you can get some of your people to subscribe. If you have friends out there who love the sweet science of boxing, definitely get them to subscribe, man, because this channel is slowly growing. I honestly thought about stopping when I was around, I think it was around a year ago, I thought about stopping because I only had like 70 or 80 subscribers, and now I have 950, which I really don't care about, like getting 50,000 or something like that, but it's just good to know that people actually tune in and people actually subscribe to this channel. Anyway, Patreon link is down below if you want to support me there. And that was it for this video, you know what I'm saying? My advice for all of you guys, don't listen to a lot of these boxing analysts, they're full of shit. Watch my channel instead, or watch another channel instead, and look at what the fuck they have. Look at these 4 things and then see it for yourself, you know, ask yourself some questions on whether or not you want to believe in those analysts. But most of them are full of shit, I'll just tell you that. That's why I don't really watch other boxing channels now, besides some fucking commentators maybe, or reaction channels on boxing, but other than that, I don't really allow anyone to change my opinion simply because they're a boxing analyst. Shut the fuck up. That was it. See you guys soon. Peace.